Hi guys, and welcome to my review of the JQ Audio, and this particular model is the 4U Pro. This is an updated version of the original 4U, which I actually didn't review. This is the very first time I'm actually encountering a product from JQ, and I have to say that the experience was actually quite entertaining. Okay, this is the sleeve of the box that it comes with, and it comes in a huge box. I mean, really big box. Inside we have basically everything comes in this part here. You have this particular case, okay, which has the JQ4U logo. You can see it there engraved onto it. So it's a nice size case, pretty decent. It brings a whole bunch of tips and stuff, cleaning cloth, a little I don't know what this is or whatever. So plenty tips. I'm bound to find something that will fit there. I mean, actually there was no real need for the box to have been this big. The box could have been substantially small, but anyway, this is what they decided to do. And you know, better have a big box and it looks good than sometimes having a box which leaves a lot to be desired. So anyway, that's it. Nice box, decent enough packaging, decent enough accessories. The price of this IEM is around $249, $239, depends on where you're buying it from. I got these from YAOYAOTIGER on AliExpress. And yeah, I mean, what more can we say about them? It brings a decent enough cable, as you can see. Decent enough cable, 3.5mm termination. Doesn't tangle up, you know, nothing. It's fine. It's actually more than what I was expecting, to be honest with you, because lately I've been getting some really expensive IEMs and I'm quite disappointed with the cable they bring with. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time. As for the IEMs themselves, let me see if I can kind of zoom this in nicely, focus it. There we go. Resin shell. You can't really see anything, you know, significant inside. It's a really dark. It's got a vent over there. Okay, it's got 4 ears, as you can see there on both of them. Nice enough faceplate. Let me see if I can zoom this in. Nice faceplate. Sorry, like I said, fits. In my case, it fits perfectly. I have really no complaints. Isolates perfectly as well. Actually, one thing that did surprise me is not only do they fit well, but I can actually fit them pretty deep. And in terms of tips, I'm using KBR 07 tips. All right, and yeah, I guess that's basically enough for the hardware side of things. It fits well, isolates well. You know, it's they tick the right boxes in that aspect. That's it. So what is it that I have here to try and kind of position the JQ4U Pro in its with regards to its sound? Well, I've got one of my favorite IEMs, and those that follow me know what I'm talking about. AudioSense AQ4. Absolutely love this. I'll get into more detail in a second. An IEM which absolutely blew me away a couple of weeks ago, and it's part of my favorite IEMs that I own. The 7th Acoustics Stargazer. Tremendous IEM. I mean, really, I know it's difficult because it's not an IEM that's readily available everywhere, but if you ever do get a chance, you will not regret it. Over there, the Rose Techniques QT9 MK2S. For me, I take this over the Blessing, and I think that is enough to kind of really position it or see how high up I praise it. Okay, and then finally my Moondrop Blessing 2. Fantastic IEM. If detail is your thing, you know, if cleanliness, it's your thing. Anyway, with regards to the sound, how do these things kind of divide themselves, and where does the JQ then fit better? Well, with the AudioSense, it's a very nice warm sound. I'm not going to say it's a dark signature. It's just a fuller IEM with regards to the bass. Might be pleasing to some, might displease others, but it's got very nice quality bass, very easily driven, obviously with the correct amp, DAC, dongle, whatever you want to use. You will improve its performance. But it's an IEM that personally I felt works. If you like a little bit more detail, it will work very well with a TK2. But personally, for me, the matching with the M15 from Q-Style is flawless. That's it. It's got nice clean vocals, nice clean instruments, great tonality, great tonality, very unfatiguing to listen to. Fantastic. Very much what I've said here applies itself to the 7th Acoustics, except for it's got a more balanced bass quantity, and so the whole thing just sounds way more smoother, more neutral, let's put it that way. And with that, obviously, amazing mid-range vocals, detailed retrieval, all of those, it ticks every one of those boxes. And for the $189 roughly that it costs, there's very little well, there's not much that can touch it, not even come close to it at that price, or $100 above that. Honestly, if I have to be, I'm gonna say, I don't want to stir a storm, but it is more than capable of taking on the Blessing 2 and beating it in many circumstances. Okay, more than capable, while costing less, less $100, which is money. QT9 MK2S. Well, like I said a little bit before, for me, I take it over the Blessing 2, and it's the Rose Techniques. It's a whole bunch of details that just come together nicely. It's first of all, the tonality, the quickness, the impact of the bass, which is, you don't expect it, because you approach this thinking that you're going to be listening to something more audiophile, not a bass head. And I'm not saying it is a bass head IEM, no, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that it's got a super fast bass, super clean, super textured. It will go and fetch details where you never really thought you had. And it does all of this with a very unfatiguing way, let's put it that way. And Blessing 2, so much has been said about it. It's details, a little bit clinical sometimes, but if neutral-ish with details your thing, that's the one to go for. This has gone down the road of more the AQ4, in the sense that it's a darker IEM when compared to any one of those three there. There's not as much twinklies up top, let's put it that way. So it kind of approximates itself more to the type of sound that the AQ4 can put. So it's I wouldn't say it's well, mild V is maybe not the right terminology, but it's got nice, very nicely balanced, not neutral, very nicely balanced mids, upper mids, presence, treble area, with this warmish bass, which if I have to compare, for example, the JQ4U with the Blessing, it will satisfy you more, because it's got that extra bass gut there that just fills out a whole bunch of music in a much more convincing manner. The balance between bass, mids, and treble, I think it's very well done. It's been very well achieved. Is there a flaw with what I've just said? Yes, there is a small flaw, in the sense that although it's very balanced and everything just comes together very nicely and it scales good and everything, there's always that sensation that there could be a little bit more twinklies, there could be a little bit more air. And when you graph it, it doesn't really show that. But once you start listening, and especially if you just had a Stargazer or a QT9 in your ears, and you take them out and you put the JQ4U, you pick up straight away on that more laid back kind of treble presentation. it's very easy to drive, very easy to drive, but again, it benefits from having some power put behind it. What can I say with regards to the technical or the technicalities of it? That's perhaps where it kind of falls behind a little bit some of these IEMs. The soundstage, it's very much dependent on your music. There are songs that I usually listen to that surprised me in a very positive manner, and then there are also other songs which I listened to that I was kind of a little bit disappointed. I was expecting a little bit more from the JQ4U. Detailed retrieval is not the best as well, not the best. It is I would say, an unpretentious, honest earphone. If you do go down the road and get it, because I mean, this is $239 and you have quite a few options. If you do go and get one, I think the one thing that you will be very pleased with is that it's very, very, very unfatiguing. You can listen to it for hours, and the fact that it's so unfatiguing, you can perhaps forget sometimes that a little bit more zing up top would have been nice on a specific song. But look, this is not about this being better than the AudioSense or the Stargazer or the Rose Techniques or the Moondrop. It's about positioning it with regards to these, and then you decide if this is what tickles what rocks your boat. Let's put it that way. So it approximates itself, like I said, the closest to the AQ4, but it has a little bit less bass than the AQ4, so everything just comes together very nicely. With regards to the Stargazer has a plus point for it going straight away, which is the price. The only obstacle is the availability of it. The QT9 is about the same price as the JQ4U, so $249, $259, and the Moondrop is the most expensive, $29. So at $239, it's not that it has price going for it. The one that has the price going for it is definitely the Stargazer. But what it does offer is a very unfatiguing sound. Not that any of these are fatiguing, but it offers a very unfatiguing sound. It's very much, I consider it to be very much a grown-up type of sound signature. Vocals, female vocals, especially, I particularly like them. The male vocals I found sometimes a little bit too thick, but overall in terms of mids and vocals, it's very, very nice. And like I said, detailed retrieval and imaging and soundstage and all those things, I've already talked about it. It's the least, let's say, successful out of all of these. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I mean, this is a great IEM if you like a more smooth and more laid-back presentation. I'll definitely recommend it for that. If you want something a little bit more energy, maybe not the ideal. I was actually going to put here as well the soft ears volume, but then I decided no, it's going to be too many IEMs. It's going to be, might become confusing for some. So I decided to use two which are relatively known by the general public and two which are a little bit less known, and that's why I hope to position this. So like I said, this is not about it being better, being worse. It's about identifying its sound. Its sound is a sound which is very similar to the AQ4, just with less bass, and in terms of details of the technicalities of it, it's a little bit inferior to these, but there are moments where it actually is able to come forward and show what it's capable of doing. Alright, anyway guys, like I said, this is a relatively simple review to make. It's not much that I can add. The market is now being flooded with so many good IEMs that the differences between them have become really very small, and it's down to what color do you like, what is your flavor. Do you like chocolate ice cream? Do you like vanilla ice cream? Do you like strawberry ice cream? But they're all very good. I mean, you just cannot go wrong with any one of these. That's the reality. As always, like and subscribe. If there's any questions you'd like to ask me, please go ahead, ask. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.